Hey, folks, welcome to another live stream number 6. I hope you're all doing well on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. At least it's a beautiful Saturday where I am. I hope it is where you are too. Hope everyone had a good week. We finally got through it. It is the weekend. Thank you, sweet baby Jeebus. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Got some updates specifically with you in mind. Yeah, so I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everything went according to plan in your world. I'm just messing with my earbuds. Yeah, it's been a crazy one, but we all survived and we're here, and that's the important part. And yeah, I'm mucking with stuff. Don't mind me, guys. Yeah, you might notice. I mean, I can get right into it. A couple of things you might notice. You might notice the background changed a little bit, and that is because I had previously had a couple of ultraviolet lights, like little. I guess the type of lights you would set up maybe at a DJ booth at a wedding type stuff, a little couple of ultraviolet lights. But when setting up the channel, I could not for the life of me remember where I had put them. But I came across them. I came across them during the week, and I was just like, oh. So it sort of freed everything up. So that's why you see now the flags here. I wish you guys could get like the full effect, man, because like with the ultraviolet lights, like everything white on these flags almost glows in and of itself, which is a pretty badass effect if you ask me. So I got that, but then it freed me up so that now you can see I've got, oops. Okay, see, I always do this. My books now got better lighting. So I could highlight some of the books, because, we're all about the books here and stuff like that. So I kind of did a little playing with things and stuff like that. So hope it looks good to you guys. I thought it looked good on camera. So, yes, exactly. Like in a mage's tower. That's right. I've got all the glowy neon light crap that you would find in the upper reaches of the mage's tower. Because I'm pulling off magic, or at least that's what I tell myself, so I could sleep at night. But yeah, so I thought it was kind of cool, kind of like I said, freed up the additional lights, because those lights that you see lighting the books right there, initially I had them down on the floor, sort of pointing up at the banners, and that's what you would see previously. But Shady J in the house. But yeah, like I said, finding these ultraviolet lights just sort of freed everything up and stuff like that. And like I said, man, I just wish you guys could see like, it's almost like those classic blacklight posters, the Velvet posters from back in the day. It has sort of that effect, the UV lights on the banners, which I wasn't expecting, but it's pretty kind of cool. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so that's one of the changes. So the new background will look something like this, with a little bit more light, a little bit more color and stuff like that. So I hope that's cool with everybody. Now, I guess we'll get right into it. I'm trying to stay close to the schedule. I know the stream started a little bit, like a minute or two behind and stuff. I apologize for that. But I want to try to stick close to the schedule. So let's get into some. I'll do some of the channel updates. I'll hold off on playing the videos and stuff till we get Macaru and Eraserhead and other folks involved, and wait till they show up. But some of the channel updates. Let's see. As far as the channel goes, okay. So several folks, okay, reached out to me about possibly having, some of you guys, right, sharing the platform with you guys and bringing people on to the live stream, right, as a sort of like guest, like sort of like one-on-one, like hi, get to meet your fellow Tolkien fans with your host, JayJustJay, or something like that, right? Not as goofy, obviously, but and I thought it was a great idea. I mean, like I've always been saying about giving back to the fandom and the community and stuff like that, and what a better way than to let you guys come on and share your thoughts and your opinions and your experiences. Yes, that's right. Introducing you to your individual toxic Tolkien fans. That's right. Your misogynistic, racist haters, all here gathered in one place every Saturday. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's see. Yeah, Well, I think that's going to be hard. I don't know if you guys can be as goofy as me. You guys, this is me trying to keep it somewhat professional. Okay, I can go off the deep end on goofy, but I digress. But I thought, yeah, that's actually a great idea. Like, I don't mind it. I mean, obviously, as the channel grows, it might get a little bit more difficult, but right now, the way the channel is right now at its current state and stuff like that, I think it's absolutely great. If to bring people on and have them share their experiences, their ideas, their thoughts. Maybe I'll have like just some random questions, just to sort of spark conversation and stuff like that. But then also, I know some of you guys mentioned wanting to sort of touch on certain things and stuff like that, and that's cool too. Like I said, I'm not. There won't be like ambush type questions and stuff like, how do you feel about race relations and race swapping characters? And I'm not going to hit anybody up with that. If that's something you want to talk about, I'll let you lead the conversation on that, right? I'm not going to like blindside anybody with anything like that. But, I might say like, hey, who's your favorite character? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. So without me going on and rambling for too long, I spent the week looking into ways of making that happen. Now, most streamers use stuff like Streamlabs or OBS Studio and stuff like that. I do not. What you guys see here, I'm using a program called Prism Live Studio, which is sort of like OBS, but it's different. And so I was spending the week trying to figure out what would be involved in bringing somebody else into a live chat situation during for the stream. And there's some technical issues. I am an AV technician, so it was not something I was like afraid I couldn't figure out. It's just a matter of time of trial and error and testing things to make sure things work. And I think I figured out a solution. What you don't see on the back end is a lot of times there's more than one program the person has running, right? So in this particular instance, if I was to bring somebody in, it might be, through like a Zoom or some sort of conference like software, but then I can literally bring their image into the Prism Live Studio. So and so that we're both up on screen, having the conversation. So that's usually how it works behind the scenes. Most people don't talk about it because, whatever, they want you to believe in the magic, but it's technical, but there's that's usually how it works. And I've done this stuff for schools and institutions and stuff like that, so I know what I'm talking about here. So I figured it out, got it up and running, did some tests with JayJustJay during the week and stuff like that, where we sort of simulated what it would be like to do a live stream with somebody who's not here in the studio or in my extra room, and sort of pushing it out through Prism for a live stream, and it works. So we got it working. So I know it works. So that may be something that possibly could come as soon as next week. Next Saturday's live stream, right? May have a special guest, a special hater, toxic Tolkien fan guest. Yes. ROP does still suck. It will always suck. They cannot fix that at this point. I totally agree, Tamir. Totally agree with you on that. At this point, that's like saying the sky is blue. Rings of Power sucks is like saying the sky is blue. It's like, yeah, we got it. Like everybody knows that at this point. Like even I would probably say Amazon itself knows it. Well, actually, I know they do. And that's why they push so hard. But anyway, so possibly as soon as next week, may have a special guest sit in. Like I said, several people have mentioned that to me. So, I don't want to make any sort of commitment as to who it's going to be or stuff like that. I'll have to reach out to the people that reached out to me and see who's available and so on and so forth. But that could happen as soon as next week. Actually, it more than likely will happen on the next one. But I'll work out the details throughout the week with the individual, and then we'll take it from there. So that's one of the updates for the channel. Other update for the channel, as you guys saw in the post, the 3D printing thing. Oops, sorry. That's probably the worst way to try and hold that. Come on, autofocus, focus. My autofocus sucks. Anyway, so the 3D printing is going well. As you guys saw, got a bunch of Elder Scrolls related things. Come on, autofocus, damn it. Yeah, whatever. The camera's not gonna play nice today. Anyway, bunch of Elder Scrolls stuff done, and I've got my hands on a bunch of really cool Tolkien stuff that I'm gonna start printing up. Now, with resin printing, there's usually a trial and error. You know, you'll try it a couple of times and there'll be print fails, and then eventually you get it, and once you dial things in. So that's going to be the case, but I've got some really cool like little statuettes, busts and stuff like that. Saruman, Gandalf, oh god, the Witch King, but like from in like the unseen version of him, as opposed to the Witch King in the armor and stuff like that. Who else? The King of the Dead, the King of the Dead guy from the movie. Nazgul, Balrog, you know, a bunch of other Tolkien related stuff. Yes, the Balrog. Yep. And so what I'm going to do is, like I said, once I get a bunch of them like printed up and stuff like that and cleaned up and looking nice and stuff like that, that's when the trivia stuff is going to start happening, probably at the end of this month. So that also may be the next show, now that I think about it. Thinking about the dates and stuff like that. That may also be the next live stream. We'll have the monthly trivia question. I will write up a thing about exactly how that works, the rules and stuff like that. So this way everybody's clear and there's no questions about it. I'm trying to figure out the way to make it as fair for everybody as possible. Yo, race ahead. What's going on, brother? And I like seeing from the familiar names now. I'm like, hey, okay, yeah, there's a Racerhead and Anthony and Diane, and I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah, so once I get this stuff printed up, and trust me, some of these busts are really nice, like especially the Gandalf, Saruman, and the King of the Dead ones. I mean, they're freaking nice, and they're not like little like action figure size either. I'm talking they're like this, nice to have on a desk. Right, like on your work desk, or if you have a workbench or whatever. Really cool stuff to have. Yes, highly detailed, very, very detailed. I'm talking like wrinkles in the skin level detail, right? Like the stuff that I'm showing you guys here, you know, with these pendant things. This really isn't a whole lot of detail here. I mean, it's just like a little pendant thing, and you know, it's again my damn camera is not playing nice, but these Lord of the Rings stuff that I found is really, really detailed. I'm talking like the King of the Dead. You can see like the scroll work on his little crown thing, right? Really, really cool. So anyway, I'm going to be trying to get that stuff printed up and stuff like that so that we can start the monthly trivia, and yeah, and then we'll just take it from there. So that's the other channel update. I'm just trying to think, were there any other channel-related things I wanted to touch base with folks on? I can't think of any right now, but obviously I will post in the community tab if there is anything else, which I just remembered there is. The Discord. As most of you may know, started the Discord, got that up and running. Couple of people already jumped in. A couple of us were having conversations about high fantasy and low fantasy and what constitutes what. But there's all sorts of sections, and if there's other sections you want to add, just let me know. Like right now, I think there's like a Dragonlance section, obviously a Tolkien section, general like Dungeons and Dragons, and Elder Scroll, and world building and writing, right? For those people who may be into writing and telling their own stories. So I've created those sort of like channels within the channel. But if there's any other ones that you guys want, to be added, let me know. Okay, yeah, a suggestion section. I will get that up and running, if not later tonight, by tomorrow morning. I'll get a suggestion area up and running for you guys. And like I said, let me know. I mean, it's ours. We get to customize it. You guys just let me know. Yeah, I mean, short of anything crazy, like, hey, can you have a section where we post like lewd pics? No, probably not. Um, I don't think Discord is going to allow that. But anything else, it's ours. We can customize it, and I got no problem. Like, whatever sections you guys think should be in there to spark the conversations, to get people to interact, to make the fandom come together and share. I'm all about it. So yes, I will get a suggestion section in there. Like I said, if not tonight, by early morning tomorrow, my time, and we'll get that up and running. So yeah, so the Discord's there. So if you haven't checked it out, haven't gotten around to the Discord yet, but definitely will do soon. Yeah, man. Like I said, and if you want, like I said, because I know you're a musician, so if maybe a section on, I think we have an artistic section, like if people are doing art stuff, but if we wanted to do a specific music stuff where people could discuss like soundtracks or music or the process of making music, I'm also a musician, or at least I was back when I was younger. I can add that too. Like I said, just let me know. But definitely, yeah, race ahead, get in there and check it out with us. Like I said, it's just all about being able to stay in touch and hang out and chat and BS with each other and stuff like that, and and build the bonds of the fandom. So that's there. If you haven't already checked it out, go ahead and do so. I think I put in the community section, I put the link to it, but if for some reason it's not there, because I noticed a couple of posts I made got archived automatically, and I do not know why. But I will definitely put it at the bottom of this video once the live stream is done, and then the video is archived. I will put it, in the description there, so that people can just click on it and go get to it through there. A shady channel for us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should have the NSFW channel, like sub channel right there, and that's just to drop the occasional F-bombs, because I know with all the Rings of Power stuff that I wind up having to read through the articles and the so on and so forth, and having to go back and watch a clip of it or something like that. I drop a lot of F-bombs. I know, I'm aware, guys. But I try to do it not in the first 8 seconds, so this way YouTube doesn't come after me. But, it happens. Rings of Power gets under my skin that much. But yeah, so if you haven't, go check out the Discord. So let's see, we covered the Discord, we covered the trivia question, we covered the possible live guest giving toxic fans a platform all day, every day. So yeah, channel, and yes, exactly. Yes, only Lord of the Rings not safe for work. That's right. Lord of the effing Rings. That's what it's gonna be. But yeah, so that's where everything's at in terms of the channel. Now, switching gears just a little bit, in terms of JayJustJay's book, The Knights of Temuin, the Crimson Born Trilogy. Couple more meetings with some publishers and potential editors that happened this week, and I got to tell you guys, I'm new to the whole publishing game, as is JayJustJay. Publishing isn't the issue. It's getting people to do copy edits and edit manuscripts. That's where the real bottleneck is, because, whoo, boy, this gets expensive. We were talking to editors that were like, hey, yeah, we'll look at your book. How many words is it? Okay, we're starting negotiations at like $1,500 just to edit a book. Just to edit, which means you read it and point out where shit's not right. But that's the way the industry is, apparently, because it wasn't just like one, it was like several editors that we spoke to were all in that general ballpark. So, it is what it is. I'm not like, there ain't no pity party going on here. I'm just letting you guys know. So, it's a little bit of a bottleneck. It does sort of slow things down, because now you sort of have to weigh what you're getting for that amount of money, right? Because that's not a little amount of money, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not independently wealthy. $1,500 or $2,000 for somebody to edit a book, that's an expense. I want to make sure I'm not getting screwed over, right? Yeah, well, yes, that's what I keep hearing, Diane. Is that, yes, that a lot of your book it's going to make or break. It happens with the edit. Yeah, Anthony, I don't know. I spoke with several, me and JayJustJay spoke with several editors, and that seemed to be the ballpark that everybody was in. Like the low end was around like $1,100-$1,200 ish, and the high end, there were a couple that were like looking at like $2,200, $2,300 and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of got the vibe that this is sort of the current state of that industry. But yes, to go back to Diane's point, yes, the one thing I have heard repeatedly, and not just from people in the publishing industry, but just in general, is that your edit can make or break your book. Yeah, that's what it was. For copy editing was $1,500 to $4,500 was the general ballpark that everyone was sort of floating in. And again, I'm not saying this to like, oh guys, hit up a Patreon. Like I don't have a fucking Patreon. Okay, I'm not in any rush to. I don't need a Patreon, right? I'm just letting you guys know because I know some of you guys expressed interest in the book, which is appreciated. And Shady J, I know, wants to get it out there. If she could had her way, it would be out available on Amazon yesterday. But unfortunately, this is the process, right? When you're trying to publish a book, this is the process. And I just want to let you guys know because that is kind of a bottleneck because it did sort of slow things down, right? It's not like in the movies where you're just like, look, I brought it to some big multi-billion-dollar publisher and they're going to take care of everything and now here's my check. Apparently in the real world, the industry does not work like that. So anyway, so that's what was going on this week. But one of the other consistent things, in addition to the copy edit cost, was that pretty much no matter what route Shady J ends up going with this, the book will be available on Amazon. Yes, it is frustrating. I know, I was there. But the book will eventually be available on Amazon. So when it does drop on Amazon, which right now I do not have an ETA for that, but when it does, I will let everybody who subscribed to the channel know. And this way, if you're interested in checking it out, by all means, you'll have access to it. Except for you, Anthony. I got a signed copy coming your way, right? So yeah, so that's where we're at right now, guys. Just to keep things going along. That's the deal because Shady J is working on a trilogy of books, and so that a lot of this is getting over the initial hump, right, with the first book, and then things will hopefully be smoother with the second and the third book, right? There may even be a fourth book, not part of the trilogy, but a book with illustrations for all that artwork that I've been doing for her book, for sort of like the concept art. I may just, while we're dealing with publishers, get that published and just put it up there as a supplementary. This way, if anybody wants the art, have at it. But yeah, so that's the latest on Shady J's book. So the Knights of Temuin is still moving forward. It's a little bit slower than we'd like, but it's still moving forward. And okay, so we got the channel updates. We got the book update. I could see that I've already rambled for far too long, right? I'm just looking at my phone here. Almost a half hour. Jeez. All right, so without further ado, let's just skip right to it. Without further ado, I don't know. Show of hands, guys. What do you want you want the music video for the Lament of Boromir from the Paul Corfield Godfrey's adaptation? I'm assuming it's sort of like an operatic adaptation. They did a version of the Lament for Boromir. Or do you guys want to watch that Tales of the Ring, the Fall of Feanor? Let me know in the chat. I'm watching that chat. I want to see what people want to watch. I'm waiting. I'm kidding. I'll make the decision if nobody wants to make the decision. I know it's a pain in the butt. We'll do yeah, okay, I was going to say, we'll do the Fall of Feanor first. All right, Anthony. All right, we're in agreement. Okay, you're the first one that answered, so let's do it. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the Fall of Feanor from Tales of the Ring.
Last time on the Tales of the Rings, the Dagor Nuin Giliath, the battle under stars. For darkness reigned in Arda. The enemy came upon the Noldor host with orcs unnumbered. But the Noldor won the day, and they hewed the enemy down almost to the last orc. Feanor fought mightily, but his doom was approaching, for Gothmog, Lord of Balrogs, came upon him. Grim was their encounter, and in the end, Feanor fell, fatally wounded. Then the armies of his sons reached him, and the orcs and Balrogs retreated. The sons raised up their father and bore him back towards Mithrim, but on the slopes of Eredwethrin, Feanor bade them to halt, for he sensed that his hour had come. Looking over towards Thangorodrim, he felt with the foreknowledge of death that the elves, unaided, would never throw down the Dark Towers. But he cursed Morgoth thrice with his final breath and left his 7 sons to fulfill the oath and avenge him. At the moment of his death, the passing of his fiery spirit reduced his body to ashes, and it was borne away like smoke.
That looks so cool.
Then an embassy came from Morgoth, acknowledging defeat and offering terms that included the possibility of surrendering a Silmaril. Feanor's eldest son, Maedhros, did not trust Morgoth, but was eager to finish once and for all the troubles of the Noldor and fulfill the terrible oath that persecuted them. Both emissaries sent more men than agreed upon, but Morgoth's numbers were greater, and he had Balrogs. When the two groups met, the elves were quickly slain and Maedhros captured. Morgoth then sent word to the elves that Maedhros would be freed if they but gave up the war against him. But the Noldor knew that Morgoth would not honor his words and sent no reply. In response, Morgoth hung Maedhros by the wrist of his right hand to the face of a precipice of Thangorodrim with a band of unbreakable steel. But while the world lay in wonder at the first coming of the moon, Fingolfin and the second greater host of the Noldor marched southward into Lament. But they were surprised by orcs sent by Morgoth to attack Feanor in the rear. There the people of Fingolfin fought their first battle, the Battle of Lammoth. In some tellings, the Battle of Lammoth is counted as part of the Battle Under Stars because of its outcome, which was affected by the moves that Morgoth had made during the Battle with Feanor. The orcs made an attack upon the elves, who were caught off guard and began to give way due to the great suffering in the crossing. Things were turning sour for the Noldor until Aragorn, Fingolfin's youngest son, dashed forward and cut a path to the commander of Morgoth's legion, whom he slew. Although the orcs surrounded and killed Aragorn, his brave deed turned the tide of the battle, and Fingolfin with his host pursued the orcs until they were completely destroyed. Tilion had circled around Arda 7 times when nature slowly began to wake. But as he plunged the moon into the waters of the encircling sea, Aryan had stirred the sun for the first time upon the heavens of Arda. While the Noldor were passing through the land of Mithrim, Arnard was flaming in the west like a great fire, and Fingolfin unfolded his blue and silver banners and blew his horns in rejoicing. Then indeed Morgoth was dismayed, and he descended into the lowest pit of Angband, and all of his servants were filled with terror, and Fingolfin passed unopposed through the fastness of Dor-Daidiloth, while his foes hid beneath the earth. Then the elves struck at the gates of Angband, and the challenge of their trumpets shook the very towers of Thangorodrim, but there was no answer.
Wow. I like that one. I gotta say, I like it. I like it. I like it. Let me know what you guys think in the chat there. I thought that one was good. I like that one. Again, like I said, I'm a huge fan of when they do that sort of overview, the tactical thing where you see things like the little markers moving and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. Some of those scenes were really, really like I thought were just like to put it bluntly, I thought they were the shit. As a matter of fact, the one image I have right here, let me see if I can't bring that up for you guys. Nope, of course not. Well, I like that scene. I love when they do this, like what you see here, to sort of give you the overview of what's happening and where. Exactly. Yeah, it's again, I've said it in previous streams, and I'll say it. It's like cleansing the palate, right? After everything that is coming out of Amazon and Hollywood and stuff like that, to see actual good historical stuff based on Tolkien, it's really cool. Anyway, I like this image and when they do stuff like this. But yeah, there is some really, really great imagery that they have going on here. It's just really, really pretty stuff. I could just scroll through and just keep talking about how pretty it is. Because it is. Although some of it's pretty in that like oof sort of way. Like this. I love this image that you're seeing right now on screen. I just think that's just a great image. That's Tolkien to me. Like that encompasses the imagery that is that should be Tolkien. That Amazon will never fully understand. But anyway, yeah, I thought that one was really good. So I'm glad we decided to go with that one. All right. So let's see, what else do we got here? Yeah, it is. It is wallpaper. It's funny because I was thinking that. I wasn't going to say it. I'm like, yeah, I should screen cap that and make it my wallpaper. But then I was like, no. But yeah, it is. It is from a video, no less, right? And I don't want to say non-professional video, but a non-big corporation video, right? Like just something done by fans, right? And it's that good that I'm like, yeah, I'll take that image on as my wallpaper because it's totally badass. So yeah, I thought that was awesome. I thought it was great. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like I keep thinking like I've stumbled on like Tales of the Rings, like it's got to be their best video in terms of the visuals and the way they put it together and the editing and stuff like that and the information that they convey. And then I'll look for something to do for the next live stream and I find something that I like even more than the previous one. And I don't know if you guys get the same thing, but I'm always like, yeah, this has got to be like one of their better ones and stuff like that. And then I wind up watching a new one and I'm like, oh, I like this one better than the other one. But that's just me. So, yep, we got that. I thought that was cool. And big shout out to Macaru who had sent me those videos. Now, speaking of which, I just want to, I'll wait for now. But so, okay, last week we, if you were here for the stream, we watched a video. I think it was Caroline did a song, or I should say an artist named Caroline, Karline. She did a song. Well, because I wanted to highlight something. Okay, you know what? You're right, Anthony. You're right. Okay, so what I wanted to highlight was okay. And see, the reason why I said it should wait is because okay, it's gonna have to wait because I have something up in front of it. Okay, um, so last week we watched Caroline she did a Lament to Boromir song. It was her interpretation of the song, and it was really good. It was really beautiful. I know I liked it. I'm pretty sure everybody else liked it. But there was another one. There was another Lament for Boromir, and this one was more operatic in tone. And so after the stream, a couple of people said, "Hey, you should check out this other version too. It's really really good." So I'm like, "All right, cool." Now this version is it's I'm trying to get some information on it. It's from Paul Corfield Godfrey's adaptation of The Lord of the Rings. So it's coming to us from the Volante Opera Productions. Okay, so it's done in a more operatic style, more like an opera. So I figured we'd check it out, right? We'll check it out and see what it is. Opera's not my thing, but it's not just about me, right? So it's all about what everybody else likes as well. So let's check it out and see what it is, and then we can contrast and compare with Caroline's version. All right. So here we go, and let's get started. And let me just bring it back here, and there we go.
I saw him ride over 7 streams, over waters wide as gray. I saw him walk in empty lands until he passed away. O Boromir, from the high walls I westward looked afar, but you came not from empty lands where no men are.
It's definitely opera in style.
From the mouth of the sea, the south wind flies from the sand hills and the stones. The wailing of the gulls it bears, and at the gate it moans. What news from the south, the sighing wind, do you bring to me at eve? When is Boromir the fair, he tarries and I grieve. Ask not of me where he doth dwell, so many bones there lie on the wide shores and the dark shores under the stormy sky. O Boromir, beyond the gate the seaward road runs south, but you came not with the wailing goats from the brazies mouth. From the gate of the kings the north wind rides, and past the roaring force, and clear and cold about the tide's loud horn course. What news from the north, the mighty wind, do you
Nice. Wow. That was pretty darn cool. I gotta say. Um, okay, yeah, they used with kind permission. Okay, cool. And there's apparently they have more stuff. Oh, Fall of Gondolin, Baron and Luthien, the Children of Hurin. Nice. I may have to check out some more of his stuff. All right. Awesome, 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 awesome. Oops. All right, Boromir. Time to go. All right. Yeah, no, that was cool. Hey, Macaru, glad that you could make it, brother. Yeah, definitely. That one was cool. It was very different. Very different than yeah, I would say I'm more into the Carlene stuff. And yes, Diane, that is true. I did get it felt very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say Tolkien-esque, but it felt that it fit really well. Like, you know, if you read Tolkien, like I could picture that going on, you know, during scenes in while reading Tolkien, as opposed to the films. But yes, me personally, I'm more of the Carlene's version. But I got to give props to these guys. That was freaking awesome. And I love how they explained to you underneath what was going on. Because, you know, otherwise you'd be like, who are these three guys just singing about Boromir? So I like how they let you know, okay, this is Legolas, this is Gimli, this is Aragorn, this is what they're doing. I think that worked very well, though, and felt organic. It did. Yes, organic. That was the word I was looking for. Organic, very natural. It felt like it belonged connected to Tolkien. Yeah, she is more Helva. Yes, yeah, that's true. That's true. And everybody knows secretly, all of us Tolkien fans, we have a predilection for the elves, right? We're all secretly closet elf fans. Oh, she okay, Eldmar. Okay, and yeah, I saw that. I was thinking about possibly playing that on the live stream, the Baron and Luthien one. I was thinking about it. You know, I like, again, and you guys have heard me say this before, I like sharing the work that other fans have done, right? And using my platform to highlight other people, right? I'm not one of these people that needs it to be all about me. I like sharing the artistic endeavors of other members of this community, right? Of our little part of the world. And so, but at the same time, I always wrestle with the idea internally, because I don't want to come across as like, well, I'm just stealing your content to use for my content. You know what I mean? So I tend to sort of be on the fence sometimes. Like, I may really like somebody's stuff, but I don't want it to seem like I'm just stealing their stuff, if that makes sense, you know. But or maybe that's just me like over analyzing stuff. I do have a tendency to do that sometimes. Yeah. Yes, let's keep that on the DL, people. Even though I know I just put it out there in a live stream, let's keep it on the DL that we're all closet elf friends. Let's see. Yeah, Macaru, as always, you know, bro, you got the open. Macaru's got like the red phone, you know, like Batman's red phone, you know, that Commissioner Gordon or the mayor had, you know, where they could just pick it up and it went directly to the Batcave. Macaru's got that with me. Dude, whatever you got, bro, I always tell you, just send it over, man. Macaru's slowly becoming like the programming director of of the live streams, because he always reaches out to me, like he's like, hey, I got this really cool stuff I came across, check it out, if you want to use it on next week's show and stuff like that. So shout out to Macaru, you're the best, brother. Mac has spoken, that's right. Yeah, maybe I am just being paranoid. Like I said, I always find myself like second guessing myself. I'm like, oh, I really like Carlene's stuff, right? But I don't want her to get word like, hey, there's some guy who has this like live stream Tolkien crap every week, and he's always playing your music. You know what I mean? And then it seemed to like be like, hey, like, why are you stealing my shit, bro? So I always end up, I don't know, maybe like I said, it's probably a thing in my own head where I'm just like second guessing myself because, paranoia. But yeah, like I said, I know she has the Baron and Luthien stuff and some other stuff, and I've thought about it. I've thought about like, yeah, maybe I could play that on the show and stuff like that. Maybe I will. Yes, I would agree. I could, and here's the thing. I have reached out to some folks, right? And some folks have gotten back to me, and were really cool, right? For instance, and I'll say it out here. I've spoken with the folks over at Men of the West. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that channel, Men of the West, the big YouTube channel, Tolkien related. I've reached out to them. They got back to me. So we've conversed, right? I'm not saying that there's anything planned. I'm not saying it was just I reached out, as I started getting more subscribers and introduced myself as a new member of being in this space, right? There you go. And so I spoke with them. Sorry. And so they were pretty cool about it. Same thing with the channel Simurg, Simurgh. Me and him have spoken. Actually, me and him have actually gotten to the point where I will probably be on one of his live streams in the near future, and then I will see if he will want to come on mine as well, and we may do some collab stuff together. So yes, I have reached out to some folks. I have reached out to other folks though, and heard nothing but radio silence. And I don't know if either that means that the message may have got lost in spam, or some people may just get a little bit like, yo, you're encroaching on my space. Yeah, that's one of the things when I reached out to him, Diane, that's one of the things I was like, dude, we are way similar because we both, drop F-bombs like they're going out of style. And even in our private messages back and forth, it was very casual with a lot of, we were talking a lot of colorful colloquialisms and stuff like that. And then, and seems like a great guy, seems like a really cool guy. Can't knock him, And like I said, out of all the channels that I've sort of reached out to and introduced myself to, his was the most receptive to like, hey, welcome new guy, welcome to the club, welcome to the space, we can collab in the future, if you're down for it. And I was just like, that's awesome. And, we were talking and stuff like that. But like I said, there have been others, and I don't know, maybe they just feel defensive, or maybe I just came across weird, or maybe they just never got the message. But there were a couple other channels, and I'm not going to name names because that wouldn't be right, but they just seemed to be like, no, I don't need to work with you, and therefore, hush, little peasant, go away. And that's fine. Again, I'm not here to sort of steal anybody's thunder or try to ride anybody's coattails. I will make my own way in the YouTubeverse, right? But yes, I have reached out to some people. Now, in terms of Diane, your suggestion, I should probably just send Carlene a message and be like, hey, maybe you might want to, if you want to come on and discuss what was involved and what motivated you to write some of these songs, and how long did it take, because they're beautiful and stuff like that. I can do that. I will reach out to her and see what we say. If there's any movement on it, I will definitely report back and let you guys know. But yeah, I think I'll probably do that. I'll do that while I'm putting the suggestion section together for the Discord tonight. I'll probably just shoot her an email, and then we'll see what happens. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, that's like my own personal foibles. I always get, I don't know. I always feel like I'm riding that fine line between wanting to highlight people's work, but then not wanting it to be interpreted as like sort of stealing their content for my content. So I always, and shouldn't I, and then usually I will, but I do have those moments where I sort of question. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. All right, the other thing that, here, I'm just trying to, sorry about that, guys. All right, my computer was being a little goofy. All right, see, okay, Anthony, the thing I was going to mention earlier, right, was this article that I came across from CBR, right? And the reason why I say is because this came up when we were talking about cleaning your palate from Rings of Power and all the crap that they constantly shovel out in defense of or in the name of that show. I think your channel, in collaboration with others, help them branch into being authentic too. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I hate that the flyby model, right? Like, I'm going to talk about Tolkien as long as it's clickbait, and I'll get a lot of views from talking about Tolkien. But the minute the interest or whatever, the hype dies down, I'll move on to the next thing, the Velma, the She-Hulk, the whatever. I hate that model of doing things, like, because, again, I'm not a comic book guy. I don't care about comic books. Why would I go into that space? And at the same time, I don't feel that if you don't care about Tolkien and his work and his legacy or fantasy as a whole and stuff like that, why would you try to fake it, right? I mean, I know why, because it gets you clicks, but eventually people will see it when you move on to something else, right? They're going to see that you really didn't give a crap, right? And so I hate that model. Anyway, so yeah, this is, and I'm not going to go into this whole article, right? But basically it's just another case of the subtle way they attack the Peter Jackson films. Because in essence, what this article is all about, right, is it's Gandalf knew the effects of the One Ring would have on Frodo in The Lord of the Rings. And they basically are saying that, well, Tolkien put it in the book where Gandalf sort of warns Frodo not to use the ring, what the ring is, what the ring can do. But in the films, Peter Jackson sort of left that part out. Like, Gandalf basically says, don't mess with the ring, but he doesn't go into the same amount of detail like he does in the book. And so this article from CBR, again, from the Blake Hawkins, right? And if you watch the videos I put out, the name Blake Hawkins already, right? Basically, just it tries to take a crap on Peter Jackson's films by saying that this was an integral part, and that Peter Jackson leaving it out sort of gives this impression that Gandalf really didn't care, and I was just like, dude, shut the hell up. Like, this is just another case of more of them, again, it's death by 1,000 cuts, right, for Peter Jackson in his film, right? You're going to see the little articles. Well, if in the movies, if Gandalf had warned Frodo could have reacted appropriately. In the movies, if Treebeard had whatever, then Merry and Pippin could have whatever, and it's a death by 1,000 cuts. And this article was just something, because we were talking about it before, Anthony. It just came up, and it was just one of those things I just wanted to mention to you guys, because it was just another case. I saw it, and I was like, should I do a video on it? But I'm like, because it doesn't add anything to the conversation. It's literally just exhibit number 927, for the prosecution as to why the media is in the pocket of Amazon, right? And this is how they do it with these little subtle, nonsensical BS articles. Gandalf should have warned him more, and Peter Jackson should have put that in the movie, but he didn't, and therefore his movies suck. So go watch Rings of Power, and then wait for more Rings of Power. Yeah, screw that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what the thing that I've constantly said. It's not going to be overt. They're not going to come out and just say, they're not going to explain the nuance like you are, Eraserhead, right? Where there's nuance between, their amazing adaptations of Tolkien's work. Are they down to the letter, a mirror image of what Tolkien wrote? No. Obviously, when you're changing mediums for telling a story, there's going to have to be changes, right? But Peter Jackson's mindset going into that was change as little as possible, and only if it benefits the story as a whole, right? As opposed to, Rings of Power, which was, let's change everything because we didn't want to spend the money for the rights for the Silmarillion. So let's try to tell the stories from the Silmarillion without telling the stories from the Silmarillion. And then when people give us a raft of shit because we screwed it up, we can say, well, we didn't really have the rights to the Silmarillion, right? That's essentially what Amazon's trying to do. And again, I've pointed out, one of the things they need to do is they need to cement this idea that Peter Jackson's films are not that good of an adaptation in order to elevate Rings of Power as an adaptation, right? And this is the long game that corporations play with stuff like this, right? They're not expecting this to happen overnight. This is going to be article after article, slowly but surely, to eventually 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it's just a given that Peter Jackson's adaptations were right? That's what that's their long game. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to share that article because it was one of those articles that came up this week that I didn't actually do a video on because it was just like, really, like, you know, it was just really annoying and I just didn't want to waste my time. Yeah, it's the exact same stuff as Star Wars, Anthony. Exact same stuff as Star Wars that we're still seeing to this day. Even though those movies are over and done with, we're still seeing more, you know, oh, if you don't like this about Star Wars, you're evil. So yeah. Anyway, that's I just wanted to share that with you guys because it was a case of where I made the decision to like, I'm not really gonna talk about that one because, you know, it's annoyingly annoying. So yeah. So that was it. All right. Let's see what else can we do. Yeah, basically, you know, right? if you hadn't picked up on that by now, yes, unless you like Rings of Power, we are annoying and evil and toxic. That's the bottom line. That's what it comes down to. Let's see, other thing. Oh, I wanted to mention the merchandise stuff. The Stay More Dorkish and the other designs I had, Mount Boom and Sour Off and stuff like that. I'm sort of zeroing in on a printer for that stuff for like shirts and stuff like that. Again, because like I said, I don't want it to be sort of like a oh God, I can't remember the name. Sort of like crappy, you know, shirt where it's gonna flake off and stuff like that. I want to find something that's like this, which is like silk screened on, right, and it's gonna stay. But I'm zeroing in on, so I've got it like 2 or 3 companies in mind that I may end up going with for that. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll have that sooner rather than later. Have you had any time to watch my recommendation? Not all of them, Anthony. Some of them I've actually seen before, like the when they redid that scene with Obi-Wan and Vader. I think it's like scene 35 or something like that is in the name, the title and stuff like that. I'd seen that before. And there was like 2 or 3 out of the stuff you sent me that I had already seen, and there was some that were new. So yes, scene 34, thank you. So yes, I've seen some of them. I've watched some of them. I haven't had time to watch all of them though, I'll be honest with you. But I will, definitely will. 30 yeah. I mean, I could pull it up on my computer right now, but yes, it's whatever that one was where they redid the scene in the Death Star with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And I had seen that when it first came out, and everyone was talking about it. Well, we still did that stage thing that included the deep fake Gandalf on the stage too. Maybe. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. Like I said, I've got so many things I'm trying to juggle and you know, keep things consistent, yet at the same time, like, you know, helping Shady with her book, me with trying to get the 3D printing thing good for you guys. So for the trivia questions for the channel, as well as, you know, reaching out now to additional folks, as well as keeping the Discord, you know, getting that up and running and on its feet. So thank you, by the way, to everybody who's already joined that, you know, I appreciate that. You know, just trying to do a little, you know, sure, if you want to put the link in there, absolutely. Yeah, I have no problem with that. You know, Shady, you know, won't delete it. To be perfect is what makes you lovable and proves your channel that will. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that, Macru. It means a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna let Anthony explain now. That's a you thing, bro. So yeah, yeah, and I do try to keep it real. Like I said, I try to keep things on the up and up for you guys. I'm just trying to think. Uh, no, no, no. It no, he's not. I'm just trying. Let me see if I can't bring this up here. All right. I'm trying to inbox. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going through my email right now, trying to find some stuff. Well, all right. All right. What I'll do is I will post stuff. I will post stuff. We are not going to start the JayJustJay as a leprechaun. I refuse to allow that to happen. Damn it. All right. Anyway, yeah. So before this gets out of hand, the part where our host silently departed, exit stage right even. No, yeah, let's see. Mac has spoken. So yeah, again, I appreciate, the vote of confidence there, Macru. I just try to keep it real with you guys, keep you guys, in the loop, and keep everybody entertained. And again, and I've said it before, and I know you guys are probably getting annoyed at hearing me say it all the time, but I think, the Tolkien community is unique amongst fan communities, insofar as there's a greater sense of camaraderie, I think, and a greater sense of community than in a lot of other fandoms. And I don't know if that's because a lot of other fandoms were unsuspecting and got sort of, I don't want to say infiltrated because that makes it sound like conspiracy theory level shit, but they sort of got blindsided by when they eventually became attacked, right? And so half of the fandom would jump ship to go and no longer be called toxic or whatever, and the other half of the fandom would try to hold their ground and stuff like that. And I think Tolkien's fandom is unique in that we weren't as and have not been as susceptible to that coming out of the mainstream. And I want to do things to reinforce those bonds and with community and the fandom, and keeping it united in a common front against what they're trying to do to the professor and his works. And so, if that makes me the weird channel where I'm not in it just for the clicks and stuff like that, then so be it. I'm okay with that. If I was in this for the money, my channel wouldn't have lasted a month. I enjoy getting a lot of clicks. I like when videos do well, but if a video gets 50 views and stuff like that, I've put it out there because it needed to be said, and then whatever happens, happens. But that's just me. All right. On that note, I think I'm going to call it. Yes. Exactly. And yeah, no, never give in to the mob. As a kid from the Bronx, I learned that a long time ago. I have a tendency. I have authority issues, so I have a tendency. If the mob is telling me to do A, I will do B just to prove to the mob that they have no power. But that's just me. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna do it. We've been going on now for coming up on an hour and 10 minutes, or just a little over an hour that the stream's been going on. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I will add the suggestion section to the Discord channel for those of you who are participating in the Discord channel, and for those of you who aren't yet but may consider it, go check it out. I will also add the link below this video after it processes and stuff like that, so that may take a few minutes, but I'd say within the next 20 minutes the link will be part of this streaming video, so just look in the description. Also, yes, that is something that should be said to Amazon. You have no power here, servant of Morgoth. um, let's see what else. Okay, there was the suggestion section for the Discord. There was putting the link to the Discord here. There was posting the clip, the Leprechaun clip. What else? What else do we have going on? I will go through and I will remember. So I apologize. It's been a long day for me and I'm getting really tired. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate everybody coming in and checking it out. I hope you like the new background. It's more colorful, more light intensive, if you will. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. I will update you guys if there's any movement on Shady J's book, if there's any movement on the merch getting set up, and if there's any movement on the 3D printing. The 3D printing, I'm actually going to try. Wish me luck. I'm going to try doing one tonight, one of the Lord of the Rings ones. If it comes out good, I will post it in the community tab, or at least a picture in the community tab. If it comes out craptacular, I will not post a picture in the community tab, but I'll let you know. I'll make a post in the community tab one way or another. But I'm going to try one of them, and we'll see how it goes. Moving on there, they grow legs and walk away. Well, if only it were that simple, Makaru. But yeah, you know, if there's any movement, if the books do decide to start walking, we'll take it from there. Again, apparently the publishing industry, it costs a lot to get your book up and running. And yes, I understand. I was aware of that, but I wasn't aware just for something like editing was that expensive. But anyway, you live and you learn, right? Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you everybody for showing up for the live stream. My habit was to end it like I ended one of the videos, you know, and saying, if you like the video, and so on and so forth. But I realized, well, it's a live stream. Saying that would be kind of stupid. So I will just say this. Remember to always be awesome, be safe, be good, and more importantly, remember to stay more dorkish. I will see you guys during the week, and I will talk to you soon.